Imagine waking up to find your personal data stolen, your bank account drained, or even your device targeted by the hackers themselves. These aren't just nightmares. They are real events caused by some of the biggest and worst hacks in 2023. Welcome to Tech Future. In this video, we're looking into the most significant and alarming hacks that have occurred in 2023. From multinational corporations to critical infrastructures, no one is immune. Make sure you stick around until the end for the number one hack on our list. Number 5. The Microsoft Outlook email hack. This is a breach that shook the very foundations of one of the world's most powerful tech giants, Microsoft. It was a series of unfortunate events, a cascade of mistakes, that paved the way for a China-backed hacking group, Storm 0558, to infiltrate Microsoft's email server. It all started innocently enough, with a crash. In April of 2021, a system used in the email digital signing process suffered a failure, leaving behind a snapshot image for later analysis. But what seemed like a routine glitch would soon reveal itself as the crack in Microsoft's cyber defense. The consumer key signing system, normally guarded in a highly isolated environment, was exposed. The hackers struck gold and they seized upon this vulnerability. In this case, the attackers managed to obtain a Microsoft account key, which allowed them to forge authentication tokens and impersonate legitimate users. The hackers, with a newfound email signing key, set even more ambitious goals to target the personal and enterprise email accounts of government officials hosted by Microsoft. This wasn't just any breach. This was a targeted espionage campaign aimed at the heart of the US government. The attack compromised sensitive email accounts belonging to approximately 25 organizations and highly ranked officials like Gina Raimondo and Nicholas Burns. Around 60,000 emails were stolen from 10 State Department accounts during the spying incident. Microsoft told the details of the breach in a blog post, and one thing became clear. This was not just a technology failure. As it turns out, the compromise of a Microsoft engineer's corporate account played a pivotal role in the breach. But how did the hackers gain access to the engineer's corporate account? Was it through token-stealing malware, delivered by phishing or malicious links? The hackers exploited a critical vulnerability, a non-production test account lacking two-factor authentication. Using a password spray attack, they gained entry into Microsoft's systems, meticulously avoiding detection. While the breach is not the biggest in data size, it was a serious hit for the US government that revealed its inability to protect itself from espionage and spying campaigns. Number 4. T-Mobile hacked twice in a year. The T-Mobile hack, which started on February 24th and lasted until March 30th, affected 836 customers. A hacker named Lapsus gained access to the company's internal tools and from there carried out so-called SIM swaps. He exposed account pins and other customer data in the company's second network intrusion this year and the 9th since 2018. However, the massive T-Mobile hack was even before that. Almost 90 gigabytes of data, including social security numbers, driver's licenses, names, addresses, and T-Mobile account pins were exposed, affecting almost 37 million accounts. The hacker, a 21-year-old John Binns, claimed responsibility for the attack. From his home in Izmir, Turkey, Binns exploited weaknesses in T-Mobile's network security, gaining unauthorized access to servers containing vast amounts of personal data. With a combination of technical knowledge and determination, he penetrated T-Mobile's defenses, leaving millions vulnerable to identity theft and fraud. T-Mobile CEO Mike Sievert expressed deep concern over the breach, emphasizing the company's commitment to addressing cybersecurity threats. Measures including forensic investigations, partnerships with cybersecurity firms, and enhanced customer protection services were swiftly implemented in response to the attack. While T-Mobile scrambles to contain the fallout, questions linger about the broader implications of this breach. Number 3. MoveIt file transfer hack. In May 2023, the cybersecurity world was rocked by a massive breach targeting Progress Software's MoveIt transfer tool. This corporate file-sharing solution, similar to platforms like Dropbox, fell victim to the notorious Russian-affiliated ransomware gang, Clop. This attack wasn't your typical ransomware scenario. Instead of locking systems, Klopp seized upon a previously unknown vulnerability within Movit. It infiltrated organizations' IT environments and compromised the personal information of approximately 16 million individuals. The hack affected organizations such as payroll provider Zellis, UK's state broadcaster BBC, alongside the pharmacy giant Boots and British Airways. Also, even Norton LifeLock was affected, which is known for its cybersecurity solutions. But how did this happen? Well, many businesses rely on third-party software, creating potential access points for hackers. This introduced the supply chain risk that included a zero-day vulnerability. In the case of Movit, the zero-day vulnerability was not yet patched. Shockingly, Klopp knew about this flaw as early as 2021, secretly using it to test their access capabilities. What was the vulnerability in question? It was related to SQL injection, a common method for breaching applications. This flaw allowed Klopp to install a backdoor in Movit software and extract data from the affected organizations. With stolen data in hand, the Klopp gang demanded ransom payments to prevent the publication of sensitive information online. This shift in extortion tactics highlights a growing trend among hackers. They emphasize the value of the data rather than system access. Progress Software swiftly released patches on June 9th and June 15th to address the vulnerabilities and has been actively investigating the incidents. However, the financial toll is staggering, with estimates reaching nearly $10 billion in costs. Number 2. MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment Casino hack. In September 2023, MGM Resorts, a titan in the world of hospitality and gambling, fell victim to a crippling cyber attack that sent shockwaves through its operations. Personal details of over 10.6 million guests, including tourists, celebrities, tech CEOs, and government officials, were exposed on a hacking forum. The leaked files contained sensitive information such as full names, home addresses, phone numbers, emails, and dates of birth. MGM Resorts, upon notification, promptly verified the incident, tracing it back to a security breach that occurred the previous year. Some of MGM's most prestigious properties, including those along the famed Las Vegas Strip, experienced disruptions to essential services. Guests encountered issues with slot machines, digital keycards stopped working, ATMs went offline, and online reservations were lost. Everything stopped working due to the ransomware attack on the MGM. The company was forced to resort to pen and paper for transactions and generously waived change and cancellation fees for impacted bookings. But who was behind this attack? The hacking group was called Scattered Spider, a subgroup of the notorious ALPHV ransomware gang. This gang is known for targeting large organizations with sophisticated malware. Scattered Spider uses social engineering techniques that involve vishing or otherwise voice phishing. They manipulate unsuspecting employees into giving up login credentials over the phone. The fallout of this breach is significant. MGM, a major employer in Nevada, faced a huge revenue loss, legal liabilities, and damage to its brand image. MGM issued a statement that customer data, including names, contact information, and even social security numbers, was compromised. The organization assured there's been no evidence of identity theft or fraud. However, the danger doesn't end there. The publication of this data dump on a widely accessible hacking forum has put high-profile individuals at risk of spear phishing and SIM swapping attacks. Notable figures like Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey and pop star Justin Bieber were among those identified in the leaked files. As the investigation continued, MGM Resorts and the cybersecurity community were left grappling with the aftermath of one of the most high-profile cyber attacks. MGM Resorts tried to minimize the impact of the hack, saying that the leaked data is old, but the implications of this breach remain significant. Number 1. 23andMe DNA hack. Even the most trusted companies can fall victim to devastating data breaches. One such example is the case of genetic testing company 23andMe. In 2023 December, 23andMe disclosed a data breach affecting a small fraction of its customers. Initially, it was believed that only 0.1% of users, or approximately 14,000 individuals, were impacted. However, the truth was far more alarming. In fact, 6.9 million individuals fell victim to the breach. Hackers exploited the platform's DNA relatives feature, gaining access to sensitive personal information such as names, birth years, relationship labels, and even DNA data shared with relatives. Of those affected, approximately 5.5 million had opted into the DNA relatives feature, while an additional 1.4 million had their family tree profile information accessed. The breach was attributed to customers who were reusing passwords. This allowed hackers to brute force accounts using passwords from other data breaches. The DNA relatives feature magnified the impact, as hackers gained access to both the account holder's data and their relatives' information. The breach was first brought to light in early October, when a hacker claimed to have stolen DNA information from 23andMe users. Later, millions of user records were advertised on hacking forums. The investigation confirmed the authenticity of the leaked data, sparking widespread concern. The hacker, who goes by the nickname Golem, claimed the data belonged to wealthy individuals, including prominent figures like the British royal family and the Rockefellers. Golem claimed to have uploaded a 1 million Ashkenazi ancestry database on dark web forums and offered tailored ethnic groupings, individualized data sets, and raw data profiles for sale. Prices ranged from $1 to $10 per dataset, depending on quantity, with claims that the profiles included DNA data of business magnates and dynasties. Despite 23andMe finding no evidence of a cybersecurity incident on their systems, they urged users to change passwords and enable multi-factor authentication. The direct and indirect impact of the incident negatively affected 23andMe's financials. The company had around $2 million in losses due to the incident. These were the biggest and worst hacks of 2023. Want to protect yourself from being hacked or spied on online? Check out the links in the description now. Subscribe to Tech Future for our next intriguing video.